as usual, we start with setting bodhichitta motivation on the basis of refreshing refuge practice in Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Then making salutation to Guru Shakyamuni Buddha and the root Guru. So we do that. I will recite some of these prayers and you can recite or meditate accordingly. Yeah. Sanje Jodan Zoje Jonala, Janju Badu Dane Jazunje, Daji Zoje Sonamji, Dola Benjere Sanje Rubarai, Sanje Jodan Zoje Jonala, Janju Badu Dane Jazunje, Daji Zoje Sonamji. Dola Benje Sanje Rubarai, Sanje Jodan Zoje Jonala, Janju Badu Dane Jazunje, Daji Zoje Sonamji, Dola Benje. Sanje Drubarai Jo, Semje Damje Dewadan, Deve Judan, Dembra Juje, Semje Damje Dunga Dan, Dunga Judan, Dawa Juje, Semje Damje Dunga Mebe Dewadan, Dawa Juje, Semje Damje Nile Jada. Nidan Dave Danyola Nebra Juroje, Semje Damje Dewadan, Deve Judan, Dembra Juje, Semje Damje Dunga Dan, Dunga Judan, Dawa Juje, Semje Damje Dunga Mebe Dewadan, Dawa Juje. Zemje damje nyere jada nyedan dave danyola neba juroje. Zemje damje dewa dang beve judan dembra juje. Zemje damje dunga dang dunga je judan dawa je. Zemje damje dunga mebe dewa dang me dawa juje. Zemje damje nyere jada nyedan dave danyola neba juroje. Kangi dozene zone dawa damje bambe chere dambe jene denze bang godam de la chase lo doni ninje sondo jube lam seje senje kanji tende chana bemo tenzin jazo ngazo wa demzo da yu jinje lo. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so today's topic, they continue teaching on the Bodhisattva Vow. So we have briefly discussed about the benefit of actualizing bodhicitta, then observation of the Bodhisattva vows. Then after that, we discussed about 2 sessions, mainly focus on the 2 traditional the methods to develop bodhicitta, the 7 cause and effect, and the 4-point self-exchanging with the other. So today we will go through the actual Bodhisattva vows. So as like what Lama Tsongkhapa stated in the foundation of good qualities, even if I develop only bodhicitta, but I don't practice the 3 types of morality, I will not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. So, yeah, so exactly what Lama Tsongkhapa says here, which is the intention or the teachings or the advice of the Guru Shakyamuni Buddha in his Paramita treatise, as well as emphasize strongly again and again in the great Indian Pandits, the commentaries and the root texts on the practice of Bodhisattva's path, like such as Bodhisattva's Way of Life by Shantideva, then Nagarjuna, etc. So, as we know, how crucial and how beneficial to develop bodhicitta when we learn about even just a brief benefits. And if you happen to read the first chapter of Shantideva's Bodhisattva Charya, then we'll know, elaborately. And especially if you get opportunity to read the Paramita Sutra, then the major, the emphasis of the Paramita Sutra on the profound, on the extensive part from the two, profound and extensive, especially when there's a discussion, when there's a teaching by the Buddha on the extensive part, then hundreds and hundreds of pages emphasizing the benefits, the importance of developing altruism, bodhicitta. So, so now here, even how great, how beneficial it is, even you're able to develop it, but if you don't practice the three types of morality, then the full potential of our Buddha nature will not develop. The full advantage of the bodhicitta practice will not actualize if you don't practice the three types of morality. The three types of morality here referring to a morality of abstaining from non-virtues, then morality of gathering virtues, then the third one is the morality of benefiting sentient beings, or moralities of being in the service for the well-being of numberless sentient beings. So if you don't practice these three types of morality, then no question about achieving the ultimate benefit for numberless sentient beings. One will not achieve even your own ultimate benefit, that which is the achieving state of full enlightenment, achieving the Dharmakaya, achieving the state of cessation from all the defilement. The state of Dharmakaya is the one's own ultimate benefit. Until one achieves that, one's own spiritual ambition is not accomplished. How great realizations you may have achieved, realize emptiness directly, or even actualize bodhicitta, or even actualize high level of tantric path, but until if you realize until you actualize the Dharmakaya, until you actualize the omniscient state of cessation, that which achieved by the result of eradicating the two defilements, the two obscurations, obscurations to nirvana, and which is the delusional obscuration, and obscuration to omniscient, which is the tendency of the delusion, which is called the obscurations of omniscient. You see, so therefore, this state of omniscient, this state of cessation, this state of Dharmakaya, or this state of the complete perfected state of the six paramita, the Buddhahood, only can be achieved by perfecting in the practice of three moralities. So these three moralities, if you elaborate more detail in practical language or in practical guide in our day-to-day life, which we are most of the time in danger of encountering those limitations, which are the Bodhisattva vows, which are the 18 root vows. Then from there, furthermore elaboration, the 46 secondary vows. So these are the so this make up the Bodhisattva vows. 18 root vows and 46 secondary vows make up Bodhisattva vows. And if this summarize into a few words, just 3 words, then it's summarized into 3 moralities. So like that. So since it is extremely, extremely important, so therefore, so with that clear understanding, with that clear recognition of this importantness, then please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vow with a great energy. So just taking Bodhisattva vow is not good enough. We need to practice it. The practice also not an easy journey. You have to practice with great energy, meaning great effort, with great joyous effort. We need to practice with a great effort. You see, when we talk about effort, there's effort of aspiring in the virtues. Here, the effort aspiring the Buddhahood. So aspiring Buddhahood. Then that Buddhahood only can be achieved, as I mentioned before, with the practice, with perfecting in the practice of the Bodhisattva's conduct, which is the Bodhisattva's vows, which is the three moralities. With that reasoning, then you have so much joy to be in that practice all the time. Then during the journey of practice, during the journey of pursuing the enlightenment for the benefit of yourself, for the benefit of all sentient beings, it's not an easy journey, especially when you practice altruism. The Bodhisattva's path is one of the hardest part, one of the most challenging, path. In relation to the time that it may take, it may take 3 countless eons of time to achieve that goal, the full enlightenment. So then the nature of the practice of the Bodhisattva path is you need to let go of your own self-interest, and that is the hardest, isn't it? That is the hardest, isn't it? And that from beginningless lifetime, we are accustomed to put ourselves first, our own benefit first. We are very much like kind of professor of that. We are we are master, we are fully realized meditator, fully enlightened in the self-cherishing, fully realized in the self-cherishing, enlightened being, like that. So now the practice of bodhicitta is totally oppose that, totally against that. So from here, already you can understand it's not going to be easy, it's not going to be easy. Maybe once a while, we may feel very inspired and feel quite easy, the goosebumps stand up whenever we hear about bodhicitta, whenever we talk about, caring for others. And even sometimes when we really get into the action of doing some good things for others, like do some charities, doing some helping hands. But that charity, to keep up, can be a big challenge. Maybe initially it's like so heart touching, so inspiring like that. But then once you really want to continue, and that's again is really, really challenging. So etc. Even in our day-to-day life, one of the most closest people, closest being in our life is our loved ones. It could be our parents, could be spouse, children, brothers, sisters. And when we go to attend Dharma teaching, especially talk about Bodhisattva's practice, then we feel, we must start the practice of all the practice of 6 paramita in relation to the family members. So when you come back from the teaching session, you find everything is so wonderful, but then day goes by, then, eventually everything become quite irritating, just seeing the face every day, the same face is already a bit too much, and etc. like that. So all these are symptoms of, because we have so much training in self-cherishing attitude. Anyway, my point here is not to get distracted. My point here is I'm not saying you don't get distracted. I'm get distracting. I'm get distracted. So the point here is so much challenge, so much hardship, especially when you engage, all your 3 doors, body, speech, and mind, in the service of sentient being, to have a sustainable, service for sentient being. It's not easy. So you require this, great patience of enduring suffering. The patience of enduring suffering. The first one is patience to gather virtues, patience to always engage in the practice of Bodhisattva's deeds. Secondly, you need the patience of enduring all the hardships, and that patience you may need for 3 countless eons of time, numberless lifetimes. At least this rest of life. You see, so that alone is not easy. So then, the third one is the patience of the armor-like patience that you need to equip a sense of protection, the protections of mindfulness, that making sure that you are not, get controlled by delusion, not overwhelmed by delusions, or harmful, harmful attitudes and harmful actions. Then always carry the immune system of never, discourage when you are in the action in the deeds of serving sentient being. So so this is very much like the armor, armor like patient. You carry that protection. So always being mindful and remembering the benefits, advantages of serving sentient beings, and the disadvantage of giving up that work, you see. So that's why what Lama Tsongkhapa says that when you practice Bodhisattva vow, you need to practice with great energy, with a great joyous effort, and with a great patience. Otherwise it'll be very hard like that. Yeah, so yeah. So the 18 root vows, maybe I will read from the 6th session Guru Yoga, the root, the root line. Then after that, I will do brief explanation on each of them. So from the 6th session Guru Yoga, it says like this. The first one is praising myself and belittling others. Second is not sharing my wealth or the Dharma. Third, not forgiving even if others apologize. Fourth, doubting and denying the Mahayana. Fifth, taking offering intended for the triple gem. Six, abandoning the Dharma through sectarism. 7, disrobing monks or nuns. 8, committing the 5 heinous crimes. 9, holding distorted views. 10, destroying places such as towns. 11, teaching voidness to those untrained. 12, discouraging others from full enlightenment. 13, causing others to break Partimoksha vows. 14, belittling those who follow Hinayana. 15, proclaiming false realizations of voidness. 16, accepting gift of what has been seized from the triple gem. 17, passing false judgment. 18, giving up bodhichitta. So then the 46 secondary vows, very much comes from there. So now from these 18 root vows, except the 9 and the 18 vows, then the 9 is holding distorted view, and the 18 is giving up bodhicitta. Then rest of the other vows, in order to completely transgress or completely break the vows, it requires the 4 conditions to completely break the vows. So if the 4 conditions are not fully occurred, then one may transgress partially, but one may not lose the vow from the root. So the 4 conditions are, the first one is not regarding those vows as detrimental. And then the second one is not forsaking the wish to repeat such behavior. Then the 4th is delighting and taking pleasure in them, pleasure in breaking them. Then 4th is having no shame or consideration after you transgress them. So either only one condition present, then the rest is not present, then it's you transgress lightly, but not completely lost the vow from the road. Even encounter three conditions, but the one condition is not present. Yes, the negative consequences is heavier than just encountering one condition, but still the vow is not lost. So you can restore the transgression, restore the transgression by doing purification practice, like such as practice of four opponent power, practice of those who practice Tantra, then you can engage in Bodhisattva practices, 35 Buddha practices. Then the main practice of purification, to be done best is through the four opponent power, the power of reliance, power of regret, power of antidote, and power of reframing it to commit again. So either meditating on it, or either applying this four opponent power in relation to the practice of Bodhisattva, 35 Buddha, Mitubha practices, etc. So there are many ways to do that. And one of the easy and quick way is, you have a glimpse of meditation on the four opponent power. Then after that you retake the vow. I think later part we will discuss about how to retake the vow, but just to give a rough idea, either you can use any of the verses of prayers to refresh the vow, or to retake the vows. There are some very elaborate, some very simple. The simplest, just few words, just 4 lines, which is refuge and bodhichitta verse, which we usually recite. So by reciting that on the basis of refreshing the refuge, then you refresh, or you retake the the Bodhisattva vow, reflecting on the meaning of the two letter line from the refuge and bodhichitta prayer. So that one. So like that. And if all the 4 conditions are encountered, then just purification is not if you completely break the vow from the root, then on top of it's a similar process. On top of purification practices, then you retake the vow. So either you can retake from your masters, or you retake by yourself, in front of visualize or actual arrange holy objects of Buddha and Bodhisattvas. So you can do that. So yeah, okay. So now first one, praising yourself and belittling others out of attachment to receive offering or admiration. So again, this is very much expressions of a self-cherishing attitude, self-centered, self-centered egoistic mind. Then you boast about yourself. You claim all the qualities in yourself. in the intentions of seeing limitation in others, in the idea, in the motivation of seeing limitations in ideas, or bringing bringing one way or another, harm to others, harm to others' feelings, others' reputations, or it's very much in the cause of others others' limitation, then you boast yourself with your own achievements, your own qualities, and praising yourself. So when you do that, this endanger sorry sorry, excuse me. Yeah, so that endanger your vow, your bodhichitta practice. Then no question about belittling others, talking bad thing about others, hurting others' feeling, especially using your speech with harsh words. Again, very much in the motivation or in intention with aversion of others and attachment to yourself. Then also you praise yourself to bring impression to others, to see yourself very high, yourself very, very important, intention to receive offerings and receive respect, admirations, prostrations. So if we do that, again on the basis of delusion, if we do that, then endanger your vows, like that. Sorry. Yeah. So, so in short, when someone practicing bodhicitta, someone's ultimate ambitions of your spiritual practice is enlightenment, then very much we need to guard our three doors from influence of attachment, influence of aversion, the influence of eight-worldly concern, influence of eight-worldly concern, like that. But otherwise, practicing of rejoicement, which is so important to do, which is recollecting or recognizing all the good things that you have done, such as practice of 6 parameters, like making charity, accumulating meritorious deeds, that which you need to recall, which you need to recognize in order for you to practice rejoicement, and also to bring encouragement to yourself. In particularly practice of rejoicing of your own merit. The sutra teaching emphasize it. The moment you rejoice of your virtue, in any form of virtue that you have accumulated in the past, you feel happy of it, you feel rejoice of it. You accumulate, just by that, you accumulate double. You accumulate double just by that. So then, so it's one of very, very essential practice to always, stay encourage yourself in the practice of virtues, especially someone who is practicing bodhichitta. Then, whenever you're able to perform some good deeds, some good deeds in relation to serving sentient beings' well-being, then one must acknowledge it. One must congratulate yourself, and one must keep reminded. Even one happened to do just once long time ago, but keep reminded that I can be in the service of sentient being because I really able to do so, and the evidence, yourself is the evidence that you did that, even though it's a long time ago. You see, so these are virtues. This in fact helps to develop the bodhicitta and bodhisattva precepts. So here, praising yourself and belittling others, praising yourself it has to be motivated by delusion. It has to be particularly motivated by attachment to self-importance, and aversion, of others, of others' well-being. So on that basis, then any form of praising yourself is harmful. Harmful from the virtuous point of view, and harmful from the harmful to the precept, in particular Buddhist precepts. So like that. So the antidote, very much to be mindful in our day-to-day life is how to say, oneself is the last important, compared to all, or oneself is absolutely, in the understanding that oneself in the most fortunate position to be in the service of all the sentient beings, goodness, all the sentient beings, for temporary happiness and ultimate happiness, creating causes for that. And having that mindfulness loses this self-centered importantness. One of the practice is, if one can manage, then always be mindful of I'm the lowest of all. All are the supreme. All are, most precious, most precious as Buddha, most precious as a guru, most precious as your beloved mother. All sentient beings are, as precious as your beloved, present life's mother. So then you offer the respect, and you are like, you are like the only beloved son to the mother, that who is completely in the positions to repay the kindness of the mother. You have through the benefit of through the helps, through the nurturing and helps and benefit from your mother, that you become fully matured person. You fully educated, and have a great earning job, great physical health, and now the mother is very old, and she's quite dependent. She's quite dependent on you, and you are really a good boy, good son or good daughter, that you are absolutely investing, all your goodness in taking care of your mother as a first priority of your why you are working, why you need to keep working, why you need to keep exercising for good health, why you need to stay happy, happy, why you cannot get distracted by obstacles, why you cannot get controlled by delusions like attachment, aversion, etc. Why you need to keep reminded yourself, yes, I can do it. I did it before, and I can do it. I can fully take care of my mother and give her the best, like that. So, so these are the mindfulness that we practice. We get reminded, every now and then and all the time. If we translate this to the usual the language of our Dharma teaching, then it's recognizing the preciousness of your precious human rebirth. In particularly, meeting the Dharma, meeting the bodhichitta teaching, and you have all the outer and inner resources, and the sentient beings are very much, most of the sentient beings not met the Dharma. Most of the sentient beings are, constantly engaging in non-virtues, and many sentient beings, there are no opportunity at all even to hear the name of the Dharma. They don't even have the physical, human physical conditions. There are many, mostly is in the hell realm. And then secondly, the largest number is in the hungry ghost. Then the animal realm. The human being, just a 7 billion human being. And within that, most, don't even heard of bodhicitta, don't even care about altruistic practices, you see. So from that point of view, you seeing the mother in very much like in that condition, and yourself in the very fortunate condition, then you are absolutely, with the full energy, with full of joy, that you are treasuring the opportunity of that you being in the service of all sentient beings. So that way, then there's no chances to arise their self-importance. There's no their self-centered importance. Again, we differentiate. You will realize that how important for you to be happy, how important for you to live long, how important for you to be healthy, how important for you to practice, but absolutely, there's not even a shadow, or there's even that one moment of thought of the self-centered importantness is there, completely lost that, you see. So there's two differentiations. So something like that. Yes. Mm. So sometime, I mean, because we are so influenced with the self-importance, and sometimes we feel like, we can't accept that I'm the lowest. So the Kadamba masters, advise that if you encounter that kind of difficulty, then you say, okay, at least the ground, the ground, earth is under my feet. The rest is all above me. At least, if you really can't help yourself, you can't bear of you are the lowest, then you can think like that. So you see, yeah. So now, yes. Then, so in the eyes of losing the self-centered importance, then in the eyes of the unconditional love and compassion to all sentient beings, then every action, every beings and every actions of the beings to you is all meaningful, No question about, uh, you know, um, reciprocated, other sentient beings are reciprocating to you with your act of, benefiting them. But even those act of ingratitudes, even those act of um, harmfulness to you, everything is meaningful to you. You come to a position, everything's meaningful to you. Like what you learn from the 8 verses of thought transformation. That is the 8 verses of thought transformation by Langri Thamba. On that you memorize it, and you can chant like Om Mani Padme Hum, the 8 verses. 8 verses Om Mani Padme Hum, day to day, like that. You can chant Om Mani Padme Hum, but maybe you can choose to chant 8 verses of thought transformation. And it's you come to so familiar that use those different verses in different circumstances, encounter in your life, in the day-to-day life. It's so beneficial. So you see, so when you see wicked people, which we do encounter almost all the time, and you just when you meet them, when you encounter them, you understood in the practice of bodhichitta, for not only benefit for them, but even your own ultimate benefit. They are, this person, and the act of this person to me is like finding a wish fulfilling jewel, wish granting jewel, unbelievable, isn't it? And another situation is quite familiar to many people, encountering ingratitude in our life. Can be from spouse, can be from children, can be from friends, after you benefiting them, selflessly. But then at the end, they accuse you, and they against you. But then, if we don't apply the Dharma, it is one of the most hurtful things that could experience. If stranger harm you, that not so hurtful. If it's just enemy harm you, not so hurtful. But someone to whom you have the greatest hope, greatest reliance, and someone to whom you have benefited the most, then reply to you with the ingratitude, especially in the very nastiest way, then that can be so hurtful, So in such kind of practices, then you see, you really regard them, you see the meaning in them as like they are like teacher, they are like guru, precious guru, So the 8 verses is just the 8 verses, but it is the summary of the entire sutra and tantric teaching, entire Bodhisattva's practice. You see. So anyway, my point is, when you lose the self-centered importance, then you receive all those benefits. All those practices, become so yummy. All those practices is just like kind of make you so easy, so easy to practice, and that brings your life, immense of fulfillment and joy. It's very much, you don't suffer. You don't suffer with any situation, because you see virtuous meaning in everything. So like that. So even just from the first the Bodhisattva vow, you see, already kind of summarize so many practices. You see, it's very much illustrate the core practice of the Mahayanic Dharma, completely free from id-worldly concern, self-cherishing, and then you completely be in the service of others. So if you elaborate, the teaching can be discussed, something like that. Yeah. So you may realize, many of the nowadays, I don't know, but in those masters, those how to say, maybe masters from our earlier generation. Whenever we see them, they always they are one of the most humble people that you can encounter. Their physical gesture, their verbal speech, then no question about their practice in the heart. Is one of the most humble people that you can encounter. And whenever you talk to them, how great they are, everything they will deny, saying that no. You say, oh, you are such a amazing practitioner. You say, no, you are such a realized practitioner. You say, absolutely not. It's just it's your own pure view. It's everything you tell you like that. Then they say, oh, you meditated for so long, you're such a great scholar. I say, no, I'm absolutely like, potato, like our guru, like Kyabje Lama Sovereign Bache always say, I'm the Mickey Mouse, I'm like Mickey Mouse, so it's like that, they when they are in the job of teaching and benefiting other, their forces, or say their strength is huge, so fluent and so great. You can say so loud, but then whenever we talk whenever talk about their quality by somebody, they will deny, and they will never talk about their qualities, in their own qualities, So, so it is quite a strange to this kind of practitioners, this kind of masters, today's time, when we invite them for lectures, then we need to do advertisement, isn't it? Promotion of the teaching. Then we need to write all the goodness about this master, and it's very embarrassing for them. They and most of them actually they don't really see, they don't really they don't want to know about what's happening out there. They just go and teach. But if they happen to see, they will feel so embarrassed. Well, put up all that quality on the board. So these are quite interesting, isn't it? Like especially in today's modern time, or I don't know, maybe maybe is maybe modern time culture, or I don't know what culture, that you have to speak about your quality. You speak less quality of others, otherwise they, you fear they may overtake you. You have to speak about your quality. You have to, the writing of CV, that a few years ago, I had to visit the what do you call, the visiting lecture, or this is kind of in Oxford, and I have to write CV. So that's the first time I knew about what is CV is. And so it was, so when you write the CV, you have to talk all the good things that you have done, and you have to exaggerate a bit, otherwise it's not good enough, to get selected. Then, and that was a shocking. There was a pretty shocking that, wow, you really have to, really have to talk all the goodness about yourself. So you see, so yeah, so like that. So I mean, yeah. So anyway, yes, yeah, the so yeah. So anyway, so I have to differentiate. Have to be mindful of when you talk goodness about yourself. Yeah, you have to differentiate with. There's no influence of attachment, ego-centered mind. Otherwise, it can be disaster. So anyway, like that. Okay, so second one, even though you are able, not giving material aids to others through miserliness, or not teaching Dharma to those who are suffering, and without a protector because you want to amass knowledge just for yourself. So I'm reading this from the text, I think, the Venerable Dundup have shared with you all. So that is the, not giving, not sharing my wealth or the Dharma. So here mainly of overcoming the miserliness, and be generous. So as someone who practices altruism, then one of very important practice is to gain perfection in practice of generosity. That's one of the 6 perfections, isn't it? Without that, we cannot achieve Buddhahood. So so here, when we talk about generosity, not giving to those needy one, even when you have the capability to give. So then that's the where the transgression, the danger of transgressions of the Bodhisattva precept, but the second precept. So in short, we have to practice containment. Then if there's any extra, then we try to share with others as much as possible, whether to do with material gift or Dharma, Dharma. So so basically, you are trying your very best to to share material gift to those needy ones. Then, as far as concerned with the Dharma, then whatever Dharma knowledge you have, then try your very best to share with others, especially when someone asks you your how to say teaching or discussions, or someone want your perspective on Dharma knowledges. Then in your very best ability, whatever you know, then you have to share with others. So like that. So I think the material gift, maybe in the West, maybe not so difficult to break this particular precept. But if you go to like Nepal, India, then you will see a lot of beggars. Then sometimes they approach you, right in front of you, and ask material gifts. Could be money, could be food, could be clothes, etc. And there, I think we need to be very mindful about this particular precept. So, of course, in many beggars, I heard, many beggars, they are syndicates. They are they are not really how to say there's someone behind them. They put them these beggars to be in the position to earn money for them, and usually this beggar themselves don't really get anything or not much. So so therefore I think it's necessary to use the wisdom aspect to check whether they are really the beggars really so then maybe you can gift like a money, etc. But otherwise, if those are who are really hungry, then of course buying food for them, I think is very meaningful. If they're hungry, and if they're really a true beggar, if they're really hungry, then when you give food, they will appreciate and they will eat it. If they are cold, then you give them warm blankets. It is helpful. But if you give them money, we don't know whether this money will, some they beg there, then after that, they become alcoholic, they drink alcohol, they buy drugs, etc. Then that may harm them, and especially if you give them money, then the other people who hire these beggars to beg, then they do all the wrong things. So, so it's a very, very tricky, very tricky, because very difficult to know who they really are. And at the same time, if you don't give when people are asking, and if you are still capable, so it's a very tricky. Here I think have to be very mindful. That's what I find when I'm in Nepal, India, especially when you go to the holy places. There, a lot of beggars together, and I always fear, there's a danger of transgrading this particular precept, because there's so much doubt whether these beggars are really legitimate beggar or not, and at the same time, very difficult to investigate, and so yeah, for me, it is very hard to relation to this particular precept, and yeah. So I find very tough. So the best, the best way usually I try to maybe offer food or offer clothes. Then is sometime if I really not sure, then at least you offer the Dharma generosity, like such as dedicating merit for them. Let's say you happen to be around the Bodh Gaya Stupa, then when you are unsure about these beggars, how to help them, then when you go for the circumambulation or whatever practice you do in relation to stupa, then you do that for them. You dedicate the merit for them, and which definitely can be very beneficial for now and future. And of course, then if you really know they are legitimate beggars, then you help in your very best. That's the first thing, and then plus you dedicate the merit, isn't it? But if not, then at least dedicate the merit. So for me, then another thing is, try to offer them food or clothes. When you see them, they are very cold, they're hunger, then try to offer them food, and at least, then on top of that, if you have time, if you're able to manage, then if you cannot adopt all the beggars, but at least adopt few beggars or one beggar, then try to find out, where they stay, how they stay. Then you can support them, building house, or support their basic living facilities, buying them necessities in the house, or renovating their house. So you can do a lot of those things, and you can really free them from being on the street, begging. Then if it's children, if you are really capable, then find them home, then sponsor their education, then of course, if the young children, boys and girls, if they want to be monks or nuns, if they are on the street just because of many circumstances, but they are still very innocent, then if they like, then you can really save them from many troubles and many difficulties, bringing them to monastery and nunnery, and nurture them through spiritual path, etc. There are many ways, So, of course, we have to do in our very best, whatever way we can, in our very best. That's also one of the training after pursuing the Bodhisattva's path. You see, especially if someone already received the Buddhist precept, and this is something that has to challenge ourselves. So, like that. So that's one thing. Now there's another thing, another way to practice this, the practice of generosity here. Then we need, we just completely be in the practice of giving, complete loss of miserliness, and, complete practice of sincere giving, without any expectations, without needed to even understand what's going on. As long as you see there's needy one, then right there, you offer what you are capable of. If we're able to do that, then the power of the practice itself, somewhere, somehow, will benefit the receiver in virtuous way. Even the beggar may be syndicate or whatever, but because of the power of your generosity, power of your total free of miserliness and total altruistic way of giving, even the beggar may be syndicate, that substance may cause for them to follow the right path, or be free from those the negative sides, you see, so like that. So that's the better way of practicing, to practicing the second kind of precept, yeah. Yeah, so there's Aryadeva, one of great Indian master, that he was tested, his practice of generosity by meditation of deity, manifested into form of beggar, one elderly lady. So she was begging for eyeball, for herself. So when Ayadeva was passing by this lady, so he felt immense of compassion to this lady, and he was inspired to give one of the eyeball to the lady. So when the lady received the eyeball, right in front of Ayadeva, she smashed the eyeball, crushed the eyeball. Then right there, Ayadeva felt regret of giving the eyeball, thinking that, oh goodness, if, at least I can save my own eye, but now given she don't have, I also don't have. Then, since then Ayadeva literally become only one eye. But if that giving have given with complete lacking of miserliness and no expectation at all, totally in the practice of giving, then Ayadeva supposed to regain, miraculously, his eye back. So this is the test, the purity of the generosity in his practice. You see, so when you give with completeness, completeness, without any expectations of anything, just completely from your side, altruistically giving, altruistic qualified giving, then, as I mentioned before, somewhere, somehow, even the receiver may be syndicate, they will benefit from the power of that virtue. But if we have a sense of doubt later, sense of regret later, let's say you give to somebody and later we found out they are syndicate, then you feel regret. Then if you don't have the strength from the very beginning before giving, that material gift, then the power of the giving won't be so powerful. So that way, don't know whether will it influence to the negative side or the virtue side. If the receiver is a syndicate, then you may contribute to enhance the syndicate. You see, so this is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Then, as for the sharing wealth of the Dharma, then whatever we as a practitioner of Bodhisattva's path, then the best sharing, best generosity of the Dharma to others is yourself living in the practice in day-to-day life. Day-to-day life in the practice of six paramita, day-to-day life in the practice of patience, practice of compassion, practice of, such as, living in the practice of four immeasurable, our actions are guided by four immeasurable thoughts, immeasurable love, immeasurable compassion, immeasurable equanimity, etc. So that way, everyone who encounter us will receive the generosity of the Dharma. So when we be most generous to ourselves, live in that practice, is the best way to be in the practice of generosity of the Dharma to others. So that way, whether you speak, whether you really kind of give lecture on the Dharma or not, the most important is yourself living in the practice. So as long as we do that by observing these precepts, then we will stay intact with these precepts, like this Bodhisattva vow. So third, not forgiving even if others apologize. Yeah. If we due to grudge, then even someone apologizes of their mistake to you, then you don't forgive, then that's the way endanger this particular person. So in short, what's saying? You have to be the easiest person to deal with, even by those people that who harm you. You see, like when they ask forgiveness, you are the easiest person to ask forgiveness. You see, so in short, as someone who practices Bodhisattva's path, we are still as a trainee, or we may get upset, when someone hurts you. But then, most importantly, from that very moment, from the next very moment, that you release that harboring of grudge, harboring of, harboring of negative about that person's action towards you. So as someone who follow Bodhisattva path, you see, we cannot. We have to try our very best. Our heart always remain in peace. Remain in peace with any situation, with anyone, with anyone's any type of actions. We cannot expect at the beginning. We as a trainee, we cannot expect that we will not get angry when someone hurts you. We cannot expect that we will not arise one moment of harboring grudge to somebody when someone really harm you. Even when we enter into the Mayanic path, even at the stage of part of accumulation of merit, part of preparation, and all the post meditational path, along the path of seeing and path of meditation, all the way up to 10 bhumi, it's possible to, all has the possibility of getting hurt. Yeah, but the degree of the training can be determined by how fast you release from that grudge, how fast you release from that disturbance, grasping, how fast, you see. So we can judge ourselves how, what level we are in the practice of the Bodhisattva's path. When we get disturbed by negative emotions, when we get disturbed by others, if we hold a grudge for a long time, that means we are very, very poor in practice. But if we get upset, but then without delaying, even a minute, with the help of your mindfulness, of the practice of the bodhichitta or compassion, then you release the the negative emotion in you. You relieve the grudge or negative grasping towards others' action. So that means we are quite good in the practice. You see. Then even better than that, then even when you start to see the sign of disturbances in your heart, in the act of in the circumstances of others' negative act towards you, immediately your mind completely equipped with the antidote such as, again, love, compassion, forgiveness, etc. Or even emptiness. Any form of virtue store, your heart completely filled with those antidotes, and never to influence you, even when you see the sign of disturbances. That is very, very great level of practices in the Bodhisattva's path. You see, so so we have to train, on this path. You see, so now the best we train with our close people in our day-to-day, especially when your objectives are not fulfilled, or your wishes are not fulfilled, in relation to those loved ones, or the loved ones didn't fulfill your expectations. Then you practice of the letting go of grasping towards the negative, the disappointment. You see, you try your best to let go and try to embrace with peace with the virtues, peace with understanding of the hope for the better in the future, etc., like that. Especially when loved one harm you, then so then never to get disturbed in your heart. So most importantly is you always peace with the virtue, and your heart always be mindful in the love and compassion to all, especially to the harm givers. So that way, then you're always living in the practice of, the third vows, the third precepts. So something like that. Okay, so seems like the time is over. Yeah. So when you read through these vows, it's quite easy to easy to understand. I think the only another thing is that another beneficial thing is that we try to find right tune to how to apply in our day-to-day life. Everybody has a different environment or people and circumstances. So then how to translate this particular vows to in your circumstances, in your environment. So that way, you can practice the precept well. So not just like guarding from these negativities, these faults and transgressions, but also to develop ourselves on the basis of these different trainings, different precepts. So that way we can improve. If we have not realized bodhicitta yet, then that will help us to realize bodhicitta quicker. Those who already realize bodhicitta, then that will help to develop even further. Even those who are in the 10 bhumis, then by practicing this way, you will sweeten, one's enlightenment like that. Okay, so I will stop here. And is there any question?
Go ahead, Amanda.
Hi, Geshe Zopa, I have a comment.
Sure.
You were talking about effort, putting in effort and energy. And I realized that I was putting in effort and energy intellectually, not from the heart. And so when a challenge came, then I was defeated. And so I found it's difficult for me to see the difference subtly, I guess I'm in the habit of putting in intellectual effort. So I'm finding I have to start again from the beginning, really, and try to go about things in a different way and try and put in effort from the heart. And I just wanted to share that. It feels important.
Thank you. Yes. Every day, we start new. Every day, and every day be different methods. Different, since we encounter different circumstances environmentally, from our own state level of our own mind, and I think even though the situation looks the same, but every situation may be different. Even it repeats again, it can be different. So yes, every day, every new moments, the new practice, and also very important to like as exactly what you said, which I try to mean. We have to translate any of these practices according with your own environment. So intellectually, there may be same word that we recite, we read, but practical level, everybody has to translate according with what suits to them. So that's why I try to get distracted with, try to give some examples, which I'm not really good, but I'm trying my best. That's the main reason is, finding, just finding some suggestions for the different interpretations. Otherwise, the textually is already very clear. Just read it. And I usually try to think for myself, if I'm in that situation, how I would do, or how I have done before. And I just try to share, which is just my perspective, but just an idea, and yeah. So I rejoice. You are doing your very best. You put so much effort. I think that itself is already already bringing impact to your spiritual development. One of them is purification of the karma, accumulation of merit. That is the essence. And that sometimes it doesn't appear in color, shapes, or even changes, outwardly in ourselves, but it is happening. And otherwise, even whole life, those meditators also, they don't really see light shining from their crowns, like emanating light. They don't see that. Or growing wings, they only see that. Yeah. Some more, the usual, the human way, degeneration of our body. How hard you practice also, your body degenerates. You get older, you get sick, and you die, and those are, I think, those cannot determine our practice based on that. I think the effort and consistency is the real matter. What really take place of purification and accumulation of merit. So as long as we give up, we are like steadily moving, climbing the steps very steadily.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone? No question? Okay, so then we stop here, okay? So I will do a short dedication. Yeah, so whatever merit we accumulate from this session, all the merit we have accumulated in the past, going to accumulate in the future, in particularly, try to live in the practice of Bodhisattva's conduct. Then all the merits from the past, present, future Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Gurus, sentient beings. May this collective merit be complete cause for numberless sentient beings to be free from oceans of samsaric suffering. It causes karma and delusion, and actualized from the temporary happiness up to the ultimate happiness of enlightenment accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause. This pandemic, the war, the famine, and all the obstacles that faced by individuals, be completely, purified. It is causes and conditions together without delaying even a moment. May this collective merit be complete cause. All the leaders of the world, leaders of organizations, and whoever leads the family and oneself who lead one's life, be free from all the negative emotion and equipped, completely filled with the heart of altruistic wisdom and method, so that anyone under their leadership can able to enjoy only peace and happiness. May this collective merit be complete cause. All the people who pass away, all the beings who pass away, in particular in the last 49 days, be free from suffering of death in the middle state rebirth and actualize higher rebirth in the Buddha's pure realm, and the actualized state of enlightenment within that very lifetime. May this collective merit be complete cause. All the good people in this world, like His Holiness Dalai Lama, all the spiritual gurus, and yourself and your family members, always enjoy good health, a long life, and fulfill all your aspirations accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause. We also dedicate especially for Gyabje Lama Sopa Rinpoche to clear all the obstacles for his health and actualize perfect health, long life, and fulfill all Rinpoche's aspirations accordingly. May this collective merit be a complete cause. All the virtuous institutions like monasteries, nunneries, all the Dharma centers, and especially Tupten Norbuling Center in New Mexico, free from all the inner outer secret obstacles and actually all the conducive conditions to preserve the virtue and the Dharma in the most extensive learning, as well as actualizing realization of the stages path accordingly. May this collective merit be a complete cause. All of us are able to, practice the Bodhisattva's conduct exactly like all the past Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and may we able to be effective service to all numberless sentient beings' well-being up to enlightenment accordingly. Then the dedicate ourselves, the merit and the purpose that we dedicate, all understood in the nature of interdependent rising and emptiness. And if you have any other individual dedications, you can do while I recite the prayer. Jawade nyudo da lama sanje do gyone do waji jamale ba de sala go barai jo chanjo samjone bonje ma je panam ki ju ke wanya ba me ba yang gone godo pe ba jo tonye taware ba je ma je panam ki ju ke wanya ba me ba yang gone godo pe ba pama semje tamje den da de jo jing ro tamje da do to wa da jo sem ba kana so jo ba de da kunje malang jo jo semje ne ba ji ne ba nyudo ne le ta ju je pe ne ma de ba ta do jo me ba jo je pe pa wa je de ba do kondo sam bo de ya de shin the dog when you just saw the logic Java, the Dadam Gerald, what is a Jebe Java, the Mo, Judo, about the Daji Java, the Sambo Rabdo, Mo Warai, Carrera, Coversion of the Pendant, the Malijo and the Cheres, what things the Jazo, Shabe City, but the danger chair, to the Chinese Javet, the Job of Coso Dobas, Chozongo, Lemeto, Doba, Dazo, the Jepondo, Shab, the show, Chum, the Dinch, but Dajamayanda, but Zobas and Naman, the Javala Child, just was a Savalach. I don't bet the job, but then is on the Zam, which is so Jimmy Ditch of Dajamanda, Zobas and Minion, Bidu, Javala Chazal. Surely the age of Dajamanda, Zobas and more, the Mona Dajara to Javala Chazal, Major City, the Luam, Dajal Hassan, Namda Mebe, Nego. Drop your edge, Bedanzo Amigration, no wasn't just in general, Samba Church and Drube, Tashish in Mondele, Sendel and Yemen, and Delis in Zeta Dele. Conjo Sumje Tashi Show. Tujichi, thank you very much. Good night. Take care.
Geshe, it was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.